Stepping out of the shadow in my room, caught between cowboy clouds and misty moon. Silver dress, sparkle eyes, crystal blue. I was lost to the menace of the mind, sucker punched by love most of my life. Told myself I would always toe the line. Tripped on love and fell shook. lets me down at the lonely lake. Before summer has gone away, swim out under a broken sky. Cold sun colored with shades of white. Wave goodbye to last summer. Cold air coming away soon. mind.